Weird background. I'm currently in Spain right now. Yes, I brought Spain ball to Spain. I shouldn't plan it like that. This is just a weird coincidence. I'm specifically in Barcelona right now, and I'm doing a little bit of traveling like I did last year. This would be a great time to plug my vlog channel, but I'm gonna be honest, I haven't filmed anything just yet. I've been really lazy. I blow up my neighbor, the Irish, in 1534, 1569, 1579, 1593. I don't know if I want to actually say all these dates, although the more recent ones are interesting. But is this not one of the greatest YouTube thumbnails ever? French people in 1895 after watching a 50-second silent film of a train pulling into a station. That's cinema right there, you understand. I think this is referring to like the first ever film, like not even movie, like first ever film footage. Wait, actually that might not be correct. This apparently is the first. It was filmed in 1888. I believe this meme is actually referring to this footage right here. But yeah, one of the first films ever. An ancient tomb in the Qin dynasty was discovered in China. Looks familiar? Even ancient people knew what console was superior. Wait, no, why did they just make like an Xbox logo? Were they foreshadowing the great console wars coming up? POV, you're an Australian pest controller. This would probably be the most horrific job. This would easily be one of the most horrific jobs you can do right now. Imagine your daily task is to take out these things all the time. Florida man arrested after trying to run across the Atlantic Ocean. He was trying to get to London in a homemade vessel that resembled a hamster wheel. Oh, and the best part is he was already arrested for trying this same thing 2 years ago. Why don't we just let him? The man is clearly on a mission. I feel like back in the old days, we would have just watched him try and fail, inevitably to his demise. We're literally living in 1984. Just once, I want the opportunity to dramatically swipe everything off the table to make room for a giant map that'll be used to explain my plan. If I don't get to do this at some point in my life soon, I don't want to live anymore. I feel like this is kind of my calling at this point.
Hey man, you know, you remind me of somebody.
Who?
Oh no.
You remind me of Will Smith.
he looks
You get that a lot,
like
huh?
Will Smith.
A bit.
He also looks like this extremely unknown Austrian
Hey, man,
painter
you know,
I've
you
heard
remind
of
me of
before.
some-
He's kind of indie. I'm not sure if you've heard of him. Oh no, is this just Charlie Chaplin? Russia with their moon mission and crashing it into the moon with $200 million budget. Meanwhile, India's successful landing on the moon with only a $75 million budget. How did they do it for so much cheaper? Russia still hasn't had a successful moon landing in decades. Clearly, anything over 75 million is just too much. Tourist with teary eyes complaining, "You told me it wasn't spicy." Meanwhile, the Indian guy who just served his Swedish dish. Wait, Swedish? I'm now just realizing the similarities between sweetest and Swedish. That's that Californian D accent, I think. We say water, not water. These people are the worst because when I actually want something spicy, they tone it down way more than they should. Bro, I can take it, I promise. Give me the spiciest thing you got. Horses then. Valiant steed will literally trample an MFer at breakneck speed, pulls heavy artillery and weaponry, doesn't give a frick about cannons firing if the opposing army has them and you don't, you're basically screwed. Versus horses now gets diarrhea if a firework goes off 6 miles away. These memes have taught me that we're all soft nowadays, whether it's the humans or the animals, I guess. Captain John Hunter. Yo guys, look at this weird animal I found in Australia. Oh, that's a platypus. Meanwhile, British nationalists. Do you think you could spare us the BS for 1 minute? I'm sorry, if I was alive during this time, I would also not believe him. Like seriously, what even is this? Medieval boys when they do some digging and find dinosaur bones. Holy crap, it's a dragon. I mean, again, this is another time where I have to kind of like side with people from back in the day. Like, what else is this supposed to be? Just a giant carnivorous lizard? Honestly, I'm still not convinced at least one of these isn't a dragon. Once again, we are 0 days without classified military documents being leaked on the War Thunder forums. I love how I can review these memes and I don't even know exactly which time they're talking about. This is probably reference to like a month ago, but by the time I release this video, there's just gonna be another leak. French exams be like, what gender is a table? I don't know why the memes always single out French here. A lot of languages are like this. Most of the popular languages gender almost all their nouns. Espanol with a, e. Staring at English, which has a equal e, equal, well, this is gonna be really weird because I'm speaking in English. R-E is their I sound. The I is their A sound. The A is the E. It's complicated, which it's the same in reverse. This is also extremely extremely confusing from the other way around. But I think it's even worse learning the English language because so many of these letters don't make the sound they're supposed to in certain words. Like, what does this even mean? The alphabet letter E by itself makes 9 sounds and 1 combined sound. What is that? Oh, look at this. Look, egg, me, rocket, pollen, bacteria, euro, Tuesday. All these E's are making different sounds in each word. What is that? Genre, deity? They only call it soccer in America. Meanwhile, the Canadians. Oh, and it's not just the Canadians. They only call it soccer in America and Canada. And it's not just the Irish either, but this is also a good example. What I love about this is technically it was the British that came up with this word first, and they clearly exported it to all their colonies, the USA, Canada, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and they just casually stopped using that word themselves and make fun of us for it. Teddy Roosevelt setting up a boxing ring in the White House and going blind in one eye from a fight. Then there's also him sneaking away from his honeymoon real quick to climb the Matterhorn mountain. Also him giving a speech, surviving an assassination attempt, and continuing the speech for hours, even with the bullet still inside him. But the one that tops them all, getting his boat stolen, then chopping down a tree and making a new one, tracking the thieves for 2 days without sleep, and then apprehending them by himself. What? Who really was this man? He also volunteered to single-handedly end World War I by charging into battle on the front lines. They literally had to tell him, no, Teddy, you can't do that. Ooh, we have Japan, South Korea, as well as China, all being technologically ahead of other countries while simultaneously still using technology from the 2000s. Could you imagine if they updated that? Japan's been living in the year 2000 since the 1980s. The history of rock, paper, scissor games. Initially, you could only use rock because that was the only thing to be invented, which led to nothing but ties. But luckily we had the invention of scissors in 3000 BC, which ultimately led to a rock super buff. You could basically only tie or use rock to win if your opponent for some reason used scissors, which can't win anything. The game was pretty not balanced back then. But finally in the year 179 BC, we had the invention of paper. That was when the game really got good. And the game has been perfectly balanced for 2,000 years since then. What a beautiful roadmap. It should really be like a note to a lot of developers out there. Don't stop. Keep balancing your game no matter how long it takes. When you realize 1906 is 4 months away. It is so awesome to find a nice classic meme like this. Where did they discover this in the archives? Michael Afton's neighbors waving at him before noticing the gaping hole in his torso. Hey, yo, dog, you good? Me, when I successfully time traveled to oof Philip Hogwitz, who started WWE2 and oofed millions. But some dude, Adolf, did it anyways. What is this called again? The butterfly effect? Always doomed to the same result. That is actually not the butterfly effect, but okay. Putting a different country's flag on my lawn to make it harder for GeoGuessr players to guess where they are. Ooh, good point. It probably wouldn't work with this guy. There is no tricking the master. Poor countries shouldn't focus on space. Oh yeah, what about weather prediction for farmers? Or improving communication and transportation, developing new technology, international cooperation, inspiration for children, or maybe the greatest of them all, national prestige and hence foreign investment. Is the Indian government out here making memes now? I mean, yeah, they're right. People in 1876 after Alexander Graham Bell won the first US patent for the telephone. Sound of a phone ringing. What the freak is that? I sure would be confused too. I heard this word recently, the word hello in the English language wasn't invented until the phone. That sounds insane to me. And it was by Thomas Edison himself. But the guy we just read about initially wanted to use the word ahoy. Sounds much more pirate-like. I want to be a pirate. Dogs when they hear good boy. Cats when they hear pss, 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 pss. Birds when they hear my anti-government rhetoric. Oh, they is definitely going to report back to the base after this. Me and my family are going missing in the next 24 hours. Archaeologists be like, yeah, this is a giant churro. I mean, what else could it actually be but a giant churro? There's literally nothing else. Finally, a perfect plan for high-speed rail in the US. I actually haven't seen an idea so well thought out. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but the only reason why I want high-speed rail is to go to all the Margaritavilles in the country. A recent picture of Joe Jonas. He looks like a 1940s New Jersey man who works in a factory. I mean, if I was Joe Jonas, I'd be rocking that look as well. I just can't. I cry every day about it because I just can't pull it off. Walking out of my exam, knowing H2O plus CO plus CO is coconut water. Oh, also, Henry has 0.382 siblings. And Mia is riding a bicycle at 450 miles kilometers. Wait, 450 mile kilometers? Whatever. I feel like I'd absolutely bomb a test like this like at least once a month in school. Kind of fun. Me in Texas, the year 1890, chasing after a dangerous outlaw and his posse. Meanwhile, the random old man from the saloon who followed us for some reason. I mean, this is kind of his job. This is what he does. He sees you need theme music. I don't care if you're British, just don't do it in front of me. I mean, technically their accent isn't real, right? So just don't do the accent in front of me. Just, you know, be real, talk normal. Nutritious breakfast? Nah, I don't think so. How about the breakfast for France? This is why that entire country is more than enough. Western Europe architecture versus Eastern Europe architecture. Gotta admit, the right side here does feel a bit more alive, way more realistic. Ford, we were proudly founded by Henry Ford. Toyota, our founder was the visionary, this guy. Finally, there's Volkswagen. Let's just not even ask that to Volkswagen. Maybe it was Charlie Chaplin? Americans saying, I love pan bread. What did you say? Says Mexicans. Pan bread? Pan means bread, bro. You're saying bread. Would I ask for a burger with a soda? This is like the Mojo Dojo Casa House. It's literally the same thing. I've never heard of pan bread in my entire life, though. I blow up my neighbor. This time for basically any point in the Balkans, like their entire history. And they were all saying it too. It wasn't like just one country saying it to another. Pretty nice summary here. The French called to replace English with Latin as Europe's official language. Oh man, I know some people that would definitely love this. I mean, why not go a little bit more old school? And big thanks to my patrons. Destiny Ducker, the modern cartographer. Sebi, if you hear
subscribe
this, I love
to
you.
Drew now.
I am the aPhatNarwhal. Carmel
since no one pays
InquisitorXarius.
KirinoIsBestGirl.
LuxembourgLover.
5610.
Robert
E.
RyeThePie.
TheGreatRalphy.
The Mexican
Twickenhamster.
760.
JohnDenver.
ZaneyBoi. Glad
GoodOldRyah.
and Jack Traven's annoying friend.
And why am I doing this?